Welcome to the Spirited Blogger Podcast. Everyone should consider creating menus for themselves. By creating a menu for yourself, you save money, have more control over what's going into your body, and you have more control over your health. Not only for those who diet, but also for those who just want to stay healthy in general. The first step is always to see a doctor. See where your weight is, see where your body is. Find out your vitamin levels, whether you need more potassium, more vitamin D, if you're going through changes, if you need more B12, omega-3s, and you take all that into consideration. Once you have your information, you start calculating your weight and where you should be at or what is a healthy weight for you, and kind of adjust your calorie intake to that. The number one thing that you want to put in there is water when you start creating your menu. Many people forget that. You could drink coffee, tea, you kind of get carried away. But if you actually are one of the people that need to control your coffee and tea intake, or if you drink beers or things that aren't really helping your situation, you're writing everything down. So down to the drinks. And it sounds vigorous at first, but it really isn't. And you start with baby steps. As you concentrate on planning your menu, it subconsciously gets you thinking about it, and you are more apt to stay on track with everything. The way I began creating my menu is I created a list of all the vitamins my body needs. What foods contain vitamin B12? What foods contain fish oil? What foods contain potassium, magnesium? And start grabbing the foods that you love out of it. And as you make the list and you grab the foods that you love to eat, you can come up with different things that you can make just using those items. The next step is to create yourself a weekly menu. And the first thing on your menu, it would be your vitamins, the vitamin needs that you have. The next would be your medications. Next on the list, I always put the drinks. Water, number 1. Water, make room for at least 5 to 8 glasses of water a day because that is vital to your health. A lot of people don't like this, but at least if you start keeping track of it, you might get pretty good at it. For someone who may only drink 1 glass of water a day, you can visually see it and you may increase your water intake. Then you write down your coffee and teas and your beverages. On this top portion of the list, you are actually marking your intake for that day. So you're just doing the little lines down and then cross it at 5 so that you can keep track of what you're consuming. Next, you got breakfast, lunch, dinner. And if you're diabetic, you got to make sure you put your snacks in between each meal. You also got the evening snack. If you're the type of person that needs to eat every 2 hours, you make sure you put down 6 mini meals. But you gotta be realistic. This is according to your body and according to your health. So you write all that down. Now you got your list of foods that you just made of all the foods that you can have. Be realistic with that too, because it sounds great if somebody wants to make a walnut salad with orange slices in it and such. But if you don't buy that stuff normally and you don't make it, don't put it on your menu. If all you have is oatmeal, peanut butter, consider that all into your menu. Just be more realistic until you're able to adjust your foods in the next grocery shopping visit according to this. Now what I do next is I consider the calorie intake that I need to take. First you minus the calorie intake that comes from beverages. That is one of the things that people ignore. The beverages can add up. If you drink coffee and you have sugar and creamer, you're talking 32 calories a cup of coffee. You estimate your calorie intake from the beverages and subtract it. For snacks, I generally go about 90 to 100 calories, if that, and that's just like kind of going overboard. Because if you're happy eating an apple, apples are only like 60 calories. Subtract your snack calories. What you're left with is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And depending, if you don't have any snacks and you actually have 6 meals a day, then you're just going to subtract whatever's left by 6. And then you write down what your calorie intake is for each of those meals. And this is not necessarily having to be a calorie counter. This is just like a baseline to help you get used to eating in a certain way, and this will make you become more healthier as the days go by. And it helps you save you money because this way you know what you're going to eat during the day. You know what time you're going to have it. You don't have to worry or be tempted by fast foods. Now you know what calories you're left with, and you have your list of foods that you will be eating. Now it's time to actually put them into the meals and try to distribute the specific foods for the specific vitamins that you need throughout the day. So if you are somebody that needs protein, instead of having protein just on one meal, you put a protein into each meal. You put something with potassium into each meal. You put something with B12 in the morning so that you know that you're going to get a full dose. And if you need iron, you put it throughout the day. And you just kind of organize it and try to stay within the calorie limits. Just create your menu, and there you would have something to go by for each day. As you create this, it's easier to stick to because you've already went through the process of organizing it, and it's in your mind, and so you know, oh, it's almost lunchtime. Yeah, I'm supposed to eat this, this, this. So it just helps, and it does make a big difference, and you start getting used to it, and you start getting more creative. So I hope this podcast was helpful for anybody who is planning to create personal menu for themselves and make some changes in their eating habits and diet. Thank you for listening.